Hello everyone. So this is lecture 1, class 9, subject English. In this lecture we will discuss about poem 2 of Beehive, that is Wind. So poem 2 Wind, written by Subramanya Bharati. Let's know something about the poet. Full name. The poet's full name was Chinnaswamy Subramanya Bharati. Date of birth 11 December 1882. Place of birth Tinnevelly in Tamil Nadu. Then nationality Indian. Occupation, that means besides being poet, what was his occupation? He was a journalist, poet, novelist, teacher, patriot and freedom fighter. Then genre means what was his general work and then his famous work. He translated English into Tamil for several magazines and later joined the Tamil daily newspaper Swadesh Samitran. Panchali Sapittam was one of his inventions or one of his writings which is based on the story of Panchali, that is Draupadi, which tributes an ode to Bharat Mata. His famous work includes 3 works, that is Panchali Saptam, Pappa Pattu, Kanan Pattu, Kuyal Pattu, etc. Notable awards: when he was just 11 years old, he was awarded the title of Bharati. When he died on 2nd of September 1921. So this was all about the poet. Now let's have a look on the introduction of the poem. As the title suggests, wind. We all know that wind is a natural phenomena. In this poem, the poet talks to the wind. The power of wind has been described and the poet says that wind is destructive. He has linked the destructive power of wind to the adversities of life and says that the weak people break down but stronger people emerge out of adversities and become stronger. The poem gives an important message that we should be mentally tough and physically strong in order to survive the hardships of life. A weak person breaks down like a weak building and crumbles. That means if we are weak, we are not strong enough to handle the circumstances, to handle the bad situations, to handle the adversities, to handle the problems. Definitely the problems or the adversities would leave us scattered, shattered. We must make these destructive forces our friends, but if we be friends with our problems and if we accept those problems as a part and parcel of life, then definitely we won't be left shattered or we won't break. But we need to build ourselves strong. We need to be mentally tough and physically strong to face the hardships of life with our strength and determination. Stanza 1. Wind, come softly, don't break the shutter of the windows, don't scatter the papers, don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did, you threw them all down, you tore the pages of the books, you brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. That means the poet is talking to the wind here. He asks the wind to come softly. So he is saying that wind should not be very strong. It should not be so loud. It should be soft. Then he says that the wind is very powerful as it is destructive. How it is destructive? What destruction the wind has actually caused? It breaks the shutter of windows, scatters the papers, and when the wind is very, very powerful, all the books which are kept on the shelf fell down. So here the poet is describing the power of the wind. Then he says to the wind to look at the destruction that it had done. There, look what you did. Here the poet is asking the wind to look towards the destruction that it had done. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You have torn the pages of the books, and you brought rain again. Whenever there is a strong wind, then what happens? All the things that are weak, that are not so strong to handle the force of the wind, they broke or they fell, like papers, like windows. But if they are built strong, would they be shattering or would the papers be scattering? No. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. That means the poet is saying that you are poking fun, you are making fun, or you are causing destruction to the weaklings, to the weak things only. That means you know that what things would be affected with your force. So you are very clever at poking fun. That means in the initial part of the poem, the poet is referring to the wind, and the poet is saying that as the problems arise in our life and weak people feels devastated, similarly you are also causing fun, or you are making fun of the weak things only. Stanza 2. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters. Crumbling means falling or to cause something to break. Rafters are the sloping beams which support the roof of the building. Crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. Here the word crumbling has been repeated so many times to lay stress that everything crumbles in the face of a strong wind. So the writer is saying that when wind is very powerful, it is very strong. It leads to breakage of everything. Houses which are weak fall. Doors which are weak fall. The beams on which the roof of the buildings are supported, they also fall. All the wooden structures fall. All bodies of people fall. Animals, lives and hearts. So he is saying that everything crumbles. Everything that is weak reacts by falling down and breaking in the face of adversity. So the poet is saying that whenever a weak person faces any adversity, challenge, problems in life, he breaks down and falls. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. That means the poet is addressing to wind as wind god, and he is saying that the powerful god of wind winnows. Winnows means, what is winnowing? Winnowing is actually what? Separating grain from husk by blowing. That means in this poem, when the poet is addressing to the wind god, he means that he shifts all the people, and those people who are weak, they just fall down and gets crushed. Like the grains are separated from the husk by blowing. Similarly, the wind god also makes the weak people fall down or left them devastated. So here a comparison is made between wheat and people. Just like we winnow the wheat to separate the grain, the wind god separates the strong people from the weak people, as strong people has enough strength to tackle the force, but weak people are left shattered only. They are separated out and when there is strong wind, all the things that are weak fall and gets crushed. Stanza 3. He won't do what you tell him. So come, let's build strong homes. Let's joint the doors firmly. Practice to firm the body. Make the heart steadfast. Do this and the wind will be friends with us. So what do you get to know from this passage? In the initial passages, in the initial stanzas, the poet was just telling the force, the power and the destruction caused by the strong blow of wind. Now here the poet is suggesting us that how should we be behaving at the time of adversities, at the time of problems, at the time of hardships in our life. The poet wants us to make friends with the wind, that is, the adversities in our life. He says that the problems will not listen to us. He won't do what you tell him. If you say to problem that don't come to me, just go away, will the problem be going away? No. Similarly, if you tell to the wind that don't blow so fastly, will the wind be listening to you? No. That means we have to build ourselves strong because they won't be listening. That is the adversities in our life. He says that the problems will not listen to us. They will come. So, we should be prepared. In preparation, we should build, what preparations we have to do? We have to build strong homes and close the doors of our house firmly so that the wind cannot get into. And then he says that we should also make our bodies strong and hearts firm to face these challenges. We should be mentally tough. We should mentally build ourselves strong enough that okay, if the adversities or the problems would be coming in our life, then we are mentally prepared for that in advance. And then once we are strong enough, all the challenges will be like friends. We will not feel that they are troublesome or they are causing any kind of destruction to us. Steadfast means firm, firmly means strongly. That means here the poet is suggesting us to build ourselves strong, like we need to build strong homes, to join the doors firmly in order to face the strong force of the wind. We need to be physically strong and we need to make our heart too strong to handle all types of situations in our life. As we know, life is not a bed of roses every time. It has some pros and cons, and the problems and the adversities are the part and parcel of life. We cannot run away from them. What we can do is we need to gather the strength, we need to build ourselves strong so that we can handle the adversities in our life. Last stanza of this poem, the wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. Now the poet is saying, he is comparing the wind to God. He says that the wind is God and we praise wind every day. He also says that everything that is weak gets finished off in the face of the strong wind, and all the things that are strong flourish. The things which are strong, they flourish and grow to become more strong. That means what? The person who is strong enough, while handling the adversities in his or her life, by tackling the situation, he becomes more strong. But what happened to the weak people? They left devastated. That is the only condition. But the strong people, they just roar and flourish after handling the adversities. He is giving us a very important message that we should not feel bad that we are facing so many challenges and adversities in life. Instead, we should make ourselves physically and mentally strong to face these challenges, and once we are strong enough, we will overcome the challenges. We will become friends with them, and then we will be happy that we had these challenges in our life because they help us become stronger and better. That means the wind can only cause destruction to the weak people. But what happens to the strong ones? They tackle the force of the wind. Wind here refers to what? Refers to what? The adversities, the problems, the hardships in our life. and the people who face their challenges, they come out with more energy, with more strength, and they flourish. And after that, they can proudly say that yes, we are now friends with our problems. We have done friendship with our adversities. And so the poet is suggesting all of us to be friends with the problems, to be friends with the hardships, problems, bad situations that will be coming in our life, and that will not come with indication, that can come anytime. So we need to be physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically strong enough to handle those problems. Otherwise, like wind has caused destruction to the weak things, we will be left devastated by the problems or the hardships in our life. So this was all about the poem. Now the word meanings. Poking fun means making fun of something weakling. Weaklings, a person who is weak. Frail, weak, crumbling, falling or to cause something to break. Rafter, sloping beam which support the roof of the building. Then winnows, to separate grain from husk by blowing on it. Steadfast, firm, and flourish means grow. Now, let's see the poetic devices which have been used by the poet. First is anaphora. Now I told you we discussed about this in the previous poem, that was the road not taken. So anaphora means the word which is repeated in the beginning of the line, and in lines 2, 3 and 4 don't is repeated, 6, 7, 8 you is repeated. Then personification. Wind has been personified. When the poet says you are, that means he is referring to wind as you, and you means the wind has been treated as person. So a non-living thing has been treated as living. Then we have alliteration. Alliteration is what? The repetition of any consonant sound. Here which consonant? Wind, winnows, won't, want, W sound has been repeated. Then we have repetition. Crumbling has been repeated so many times to lay emphasis. Then we have symbolism. Obviously this poem is symbolism, as the wind has been symbolized with the adversities of life. The wind refers to the challenges in life, and the poet is using wind as a symbol for the adversities in our life. So these were the poetic devices which are being used in the poem. Poem explanation has been done. Now here comes the homework. You have to read the poem carefully and solve some textual questions and some extra questions as well in your English Fair notebook only. Extra questions. What does crumbling suggest in the poem Wind? Then question number 2. Why does the poet remark that the friendship of wind is good? Then question number 3. What does the wind make fun of? And then question number 4. What is the central idea of poem Wind? You have to solve these questions with textual questions in your English Fair notebook with date, title, poet's name, questions with black pen, answers with blue pen. Margins should be drawn after each and every answer using scale and pencil. And after that you will be solving the questions, question number 1, 2, 3, and then you will put a heading extra questions. Then you will start solving these 4 questions after the textual questions only. Go through the poem first, listen to the explanation carefully, and then you will be solving the question.